Executive Director of the project, Mr. ECapehart. Mr. Capehart is a graduate of Tennessee State University, and Mr. Capehart, I would imagine that you can give us some more information in reference to your background, your education, and some of your experiences before you became involved with the program, All the King's Men, and then we'll talk about some additional things.
Sure, no problem. Thanks you for having me, first and foremost. Just a little bit about who I am. Again, my name is ECapehart. I am actually the founder and executive director of All the King's Men. I am a Nashville native. I had the privilege to grow up in different countries, being a military brat. My mother and my father, stepfather, took me around the country and around. I lived in Wiesbaden, Germany for 7 years. Came back to the States, lived in California, Florida, different states around the country. I am a graduate of Tennessee State University, where I studied speech communications and theater. I graduated there in 2004. I took your class, history class.
I remember that.
Yep. After that, I went forward and received a master's degree from the University of Phoenix in business administration. Some of the things that I've been able to accomplish in my lifetime since then, most recently I was awarded as one of Nashville's top 30 under 30 young people in our, that are making a tremendous impact on the lives of people in our community, which was a very high accolade for me. Being a Nashville native, I was very proud to be recognized as one of the top 30 individuals under the age of 30 making a real difference in our community. So I was very proud about that. I'm also a member of the Community Advisory Board, which is a state legislative board, a statewide board of directors that we serve to improve the lives of families throughout our state. Also a member of the Davidson County Disproportionate Minority Contact and Confinement Task Force.
Okay, now you're going to have to explain that to us when you talk about the men. Good,
I definitely will. I definitely will talk about that. But the DMCC Task Force is an advocate for children of color in the judicial and public sector in our community. So that's a little bit about myself, and I'm very happy to be here today.
And so you were inspired, Mr. Capehart, to found a program called All the King's Men, which is a mentoring program, and I would imagine that you're reaching out and you're doing a lot of things in reference to it. How did this idea come to you?
Well, All the King's Men was founded in 2007. The way that it came about was kind of unorthodox. It wasn't anything that I planned to do. In 2007, I was a candidate for the Mr. Tennessee competition, the first ever Mr. Tennessee competition. And some point throughout my rehearsals, getting prepared for the show, my campaign manager, he decided to ask me, hey, what are you going to do if you were to win this competition? And at that point, I hadn't thought about it. Me being the entrepreneur that I am, I saw an opportunity for me to win a grand prize, money. And so I entered the competition, and I really never thought about what I would do until he asked me what I would do. And when he asked me, I told him, I really don't know. I'm going to have to really consider that and pray about it. And in the midst of my prayers one night, the name All the King's Men came to me, and I just kind of ran with it. And that night I got out of my bed and I wrote down